If you have ever stood in a wine shop wondering whether to spend $75 on a bottle of Syrah or Shiraz from France or Australia, you are not alone. Both wines are made from the same grape. Both cost about the same. Both are highly respected. Yet they couldn't taste more different. Syrah or Shiraz, depending on where it's grown, is one of my favorite grape varieties because of its incredible versatility. It can produce wines that are elegant and floral, or rich and powerful, while almost always retaining bright acidity, savory character, and remarkable fruit friendliness. Over the years, I have built a small collection spanning both the old and the new world. One question I get asked surprisingly often is, if I'm only buying one bottle, should I choose Côte-Rôtie or Australian Shiraz? Today, we are comparing two bottles from my cellar, Michel Chapoutier's Bécasses from Côte-Rôtie and Yering Station's Shiraz Viognier Reserve from Yarra Valley. Same grape, same price, completely different philosophies. By the end of this video, you might be surprised which wine I would choose, and why reputation alone doesn't always lead to the more satisfying bottle. Let's begin where these wines come from, because that's where the differences begin. Côte-Rôtie. Viticulture here dates back almost 2,000 years ago. The Allobroges first planted vines around 71 AD, before the Romans expanded the steep terraces to maximize sunlight. The appellation revolves around two famous hillsides. Côte Blonde is known for producing softer, more aromatic wines, and Côte Brune generally produces darker, firmer, and more structured expressions. After phylloxera devastated the vineyards during the 19th century, Côte-Rôtie almost disappeared before being revived during the late 20th century. Today, it remains one of the world's most respected homes for Syrah. Yarra Valley. Now let's travel to Australia. The Yarra Valley sits just outside Melbourne and is Victoria's oldest wine region. Its first vines were planted in 1838. After flourishing during the 19th century, the region declined during the Great Depression before being reborn in the late 1960s. Today, more than 80 wineries produce elegant, cool-climate wines, and the region has become one of Australia's leading wine tourism destinations. Both regions have remarkable histories, but they are shaped by very different climates and traditions. One represents centuries of European winemaking. The other is a modern, cool climate success story. Typical style. Now let's forget the labels for a moment. If I poured this wine, what would you notice? Côte-Rôtie? Typically, you will find savory dark fruit, black pepper, smoked meat, violet, earthy complexity, firm structure, pronounced minerality. Everything tends to feel restrained, elegant, and layered. Yarra Valley. Yarra Valley Shiraz heads in a different direction. Instead, you will often find vibrant plum, black cherry, spice, fresher acidity, softer tannins, less obvious oak. The wines are usually more fruit-driven while still retaining elegance. They are much lighter and fresher than the powerful Shiraz styles from warmer Australian regions like Barossa Valley. If you enjoy savory, earthy wines that reveal themselves slowly, you are probably leaning towards Côte-Rôtie. If you prefer brighter fruit and immediate charm, Yarra Valley may already be pulling ahead. Now, let's look at today's two contenders. Michel Chapoutier. Chapoutier entered its modern era in 1989 when Michel Chapoutier introduced his single vineyard selection parcellaire. The estate converted fully to biodynamic farming by 1995. Since 1996, every label has featured Braille, honoring Maurice Monnier de la Cizeranne. Les Bécasses was introduced in 1998 as Chapoutier's flagship entry-level Côte-Rôtie. It combines fruit from both Côte Blonde and Côte Brune to create a balanced expression of the appellation. Recent vintages retail for around $75. Yering Station. Yering Station is Victoria's oldest vineyard, established in 1838. In 1889, it became the first winery outside the Northern Hemisphere to win a Grand Prix in Paris. Although the original vineyards disappeared during the 20th century, the estate was replanted in 1988 and has belonged to the Rathbone family since 1996. Today, it's regarded as one of Australia's benchmark producers of cool climate Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Shiraz. Its Shiraz Viognier Reserve also retails for around $75. So, we have arrived at two benchmark producers, with two benchmark wines, at almost exactly the same price. Now comes the interesting part. Let's look in detail at the wines. Nose. The Chapoutier immediately leans into classic Rhone character. Fresh raspberry, strawberry, black olive, earthy undergrowth, and violet are lifted by a subtle touch of clove. The Yering Station is more expressive from the outset. Plum, black cherry, and anise dominate, with a gentle hint of creamy vanilla from the oak. Although Viognier accounts for only about 2% of the blend, it noticeably lifts the perfume. Advantage on the nose, Yering Station for sheer aromatic appeal. Palate. Chapoutier is beautifully composed. Minerality gives the wine precision before layers of black cherry, game, tapenade, saffron, and Mediterranean herbs emerge. Everything feels elegant and controlled. The Yering Station is richer and more generous. Dark berries, apricot, dark chocolate, and earthy spice are supported by remarkably fine tannins. It combines concentration with freshness extremely well. On the palate, it's a draw. These are simply two different expressions of Syrah, Shiraz. Structure and aging. Both wines have the structure to develop beautifully. Chapoutier is built around finesse, savory complexity, and gradual evolution. Yering Station combines slightly more concentration with freshness, making it enjoyable young while still rewarding patience. Neither is the wrong choice. They simply evolve in different ways. Value. This is where things become interesting. At around $75, both represent benchmark expressions of their regions. For me, however, the Yering Station offers more complexity, generosity, and personality at this price point. With Chapoutier, I would happily spend more and move into the estate's outstanding single vineyard Côte-Rôties. Final verdict. If I were choosing purely on enjoyment, at $75, my vote goes to Yering Station Shiraz Viognier Reserve. It delivers remarkable concentration while retaining elegance, freshness, and balance. Chapoutier's Bécasses is an excellent introduction to Côte-Rôtie and a beautifully made wine. But for me, it doesn't quite reach the level that makes it unforgettable. Interestingly, that's exactly why I continue buying Chapoutier's single vineyard wines for my own cellar. They are more expensive, but they also show just how extraordinary Côte-Rôtie can be. If you have tried both Old World Syrah and New World Shiraz, I would love to know which style you find yourself reaching for most often. And if there is another comparison you would like to see next, let me know in the comments section below. You will find more of my cellar insights and tasting notes on Instagram. Massive thanks for watching today, and I will see you in the next one.